Hey everyone, it's Sammy here, and I want to tell you about my Vermona, the qMI 2 Quad MIDI interface. So let's start off with the basics. This is a MIDI interface, which will allow you to connect anything with a MIDI output to your Eurorack system, or anything that takes gate and volt per octave CV. Now specifically, what the Vermona offers is 4 either independent outputs or polyphonic outputs. So right now, I've got a MIDI keyboard hooked up, and I'm pressing a note, and you can see in this mode, all 4 of these channels light up. So it's taking my MIDI command, and it's going to give me the note and the gate for each note I press. We also have the possibility here of running it in successive mode, where each note I press triggers a different channel. So this is really good if you want to have alternating, say, oscillators or possibly drum modules as well, being triggered alternately through different notes. Now, there's another mode, of course, which is polyphonic. In polyphonic mode, we are able to control 4 oscillators separately, but if you don't have 4 oscillators, you can just go to the MIDI channel setting right here. For example, I have 2 oscillators, so I'm going to restrict this to 2, and now I'll only ever get CV and gate on these 2 channels. Now, one of the things I love about the way they designed this is the menu system. So for example, if you take a look up here, you have legends which tell you what you can assign and how to do it. Now there are just 2 menus on this. You go to MIDI channel and you select your channel, and then you select which of these 4 outputs will respond to that channel. So right now, if we go to channel 1, that is on 1 and 2. If I go to MIDI channel 2, I've got 3 and 4. So what this means is from my DAW, I can set channel 1 on MIDI to control these 2 outputs, and channel 2 to control these 2 outputs. So it's pretty amazing if you've ever worked with old MIDI gear, rack gear and so on. It's just like that. And of course I could just do 3 here and 4 here. So you can have up to 4 separate things going on in your Eurorack, all controlled separately through MIDI channels in your DAW. Now I love the way they set up the editing on this. So if we go into edit mode, we're now automatically in 1 because that's where the knob is. And 1 is CV1 until I get up to 5. So let's stay with CV1. Here I can select between 1 to 4 with these controls right here, with these buttons. So I could say I want mod wheel to be output on CV1. Then if I go up to 5, I can then say I want velocity to be on CV2. Now if I go up to 9, I've now got clock divisions. So these actually take your MIDI clock outputs, and I can set the resolution right here. So clock A, I can set to 1/16 resolution, B to 1/8, and so on. We can also come to 12 here, and we can double the clock. The other cool thing is, if we go to 14, we can actually toggle on a channel-by-channel basis whether we want gates or triggers. 2 other cool things, with the gate input here, you can actually trigger to go between M1 and M2. And just to remind you, M1 and M2, let's set our MIDI control here. So we have all 4 of these. With M2, it'll generate each one successively, and M1, it'll just fire all 4 the same, which is great, by the way, if you don't want to have to use a buffered output for the CVs if you're just using 1 or 2 oscillators. Now, going back to the reset here, now this reset is really cool because what it does is when it gets a MIDI command to stop, that's a transport command, when you press stop on your sequencer, this will output a 5-volt gate. Speaking of timing, MIDI can be a bit sloppy, there can be jitter, but for that I have the Expert Sleeper's USAMO. Now I don't have anything to measure the outputs by other than just running them through oscillators, but they seem to be very, very accurate with 1 volt per octave. So this has actually helped me tremendously with tuning my analog oscillators and keeping them at the correct pitch. So that, my friends, has been the Vermona qMI 2. If you have any questions or anything you want to see, put them in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.